Hello, welcome to my channel, Liz McGee. If you are a subscriber or returning subscriber, blessings. It's a very exciting time. I'm getting ready to release what I believe is years of research under the guidance of the Ruach HaKodesh to release the keys to the kingdom. A very arcane, esoteric form of the word of Yahweh, which is there, has always been there, but somehow we lost it along the way. And this is a lot of the restoration that is going on in these exciting last days. So I'd like you just, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know you are an elect also on this awesome journey, the last leg of the race. In Yeshua's name, be blessed. Hi, welcome to lesson 1 of unlocking keys. So I have been on this journey a long time. I have years of research in compiling this information. I feel it is time to release it. So I've been trying to organize my thoughts so I can be really linear. I've been trying to check and double check before the Father that this is pretty accurate information. And I really believe that this is an exciting time because truly the elect is told we will have oil in our lamp. This is all about getting oil, getting the keys to the kingdom so that we can truly understand our text from the level of the prophet, which has been something that has been sorely lost. Now, I have done a series of YouTubes, and in the bottom of this, I will link some extremely important, I believe, videos that you should also watch to get up to speed about what I'm talking about, all right? None of this is made up. I'm not making any of this up. You know that I believe that within the oracles of the house of Judah is all the information that we need to reclaim our true heritage and truth and position and be part of the reunification of the two houses of Israel. So that's all being said. Now, a couple of just quick reviews, because there's things that you always need to keep in your mind if you're trying to navigate. And the first thing is, as I've been talking about, well, first of all, let me just say this, Hebrew. Everything in our holy text has to be understood in its Hebraic letters, roots, words, adding the vowel points and adding and understanding the cantillation marks and understanding the gematria. Now that's just the way it is. I can't help it. If you are still wanting to read translations, you will be lost. Now it's not like you have to totally learn Hebrew. There are enough helps online, in my opinion, that can help you break down words. I mean, yes, we can use Strong's and we can use a lot of, Bible sites, but again, there's enough tools out there, I believe, to get enough accurate information to make correct assessments on these words. Also, we're unpacking a lot of the paleographic understandings of these glyphs. All right, so a lot of this information about Hebrew I have in other YouTubes. A lot of people are unpacking. So that's important. Hebrew is, and I believe it's the language of creation. I believe it follows the chemical language. It is a language of symbols and glyphs, the best we have to describe the processes or the nature of Elohim as he creates, sustains, fills, watches over and blesses his creation. And the flip side is he judges it too, because, as my dad always said, there's no free lunch. You play, you pay. Anyways, so what we have to understand again, 5 worlds. I've been over this. They go to get 5 worlds and 5 soul levels. These are understandings that are in the word, in the Hebrew, that any Torah scholar, let's say Jewish, would know. I mean, these are just givens, things that you understand, and they're in the Hebrew. You will not be able to pick this up, like I said, in translations. They are totally out of Hoyle. Oh, well. But let me just review it really quick, the different levels, because they go together. Because the way Hashem made this whole great cosmos that we dwell in our physicality, in the 70 years, so to speak, that we get, in our soul, which is immortal, for all intents and purposes, until the final judgment goes places, all right, to our spirit, which comes from Elohim. All these, there's places in the cosmos, there's dimensions, there's realms, and it all parallels the human body. I want to say one more quick thing about Hebrew. Hebrew is what is known as a concrete language, meaning it uses real imagery, real symbols, or real words to describe something, all right? And it is from the properties of the real, contemplating, something that you see in nature. From that, you are able to extract spiritual principles. Like, nothing is made up. No Hebrew sage sat on a lotus flower and decided, oh, that sounds really good. I'll talk about beasts over here. And, then we'll go over here and talk about a house and a temple. No, everything is 100% connected. And this is a very important principle. It's called the law of correspondences. Everything in the earthly has a counterpart in the heavenlies and on and up. All right, nothing's chaotic, nothing's out there floating around that's not attached. Everything is and should be and could have remained in decent and in order, but we do have a bunch of viruses in this whole thing. So that's sort of what the storyline is all about. But the 5 worlds. All right, you have to understand, we live in a world, it's called Asiyah. It's a world of physicality. It's a world of matter. All right, I have a table in front of me, and when I hit that table, it's solid mass. All right, it echoes a sound. It is here. It's in the here and now. When I sit on a chair, the things that are in physicality are there, and we see them with this is the whole point, the 5 senses. All right, we taste them, touch them, feel them, hear them. This is what makes up our reality. All right. Now, a lot of these things, this is great. I mean, I love philosophy because to me, this is the meat of life. Why wouldn't you want to contemplate deeply on all the amazing things that Elohim has done? And it says in the word that the revelation of Torah, the revelation of truth is for us and for our children's children forever. We were never supposed to lose truth. So the first world is Asiyah. It's this world of physicality. Unfortunately, 95% of the world today in our secular mindsets has been programmed, so to speak, into thinking that that's all there is. That's what a natural is, a natural man. He just, hey, eat, drink, and be merry, tomorrow I die, whatever. There's nothing else. My body goes back to chemicals in the earth and it cycles again somewhere somehow. There's no concept that there's a soul, there's a spirit. I wish people could really understand this. And when you study history, no other people group on the planet in all of history ever thought that way. That is one of the signs of the last days, where God is 100% taken out of the equation. So if you're a natural man and you live in the world of Asiyah, where you think that's all there is, rude awakening is coming soon. Okay, the next world up is the world of Yetzirah. All right, Yetzirah is the world, it would call the astral world is a lot of times, or the world of our emotions. It is this place, it's watery, it's a place of fluidity, it's a place now we're coming up into our mind. We're out of our body. This also parallels the 5 levels of consciousness, all right? So don't think that Freud and Jung and these people just made that up. They got this all from Jewish mysticism, all from the deep Torah understandings of the writings of Judah, because they were Jews. I mean, all right, so they just repackage stuff. But the unfortunate part with people who repackage, and you're on a warning now. Yahweh is putting you on a watch list and a warning. Unless you bend the knee now, before, this thing changes on a dime. So, the world of Yetzirah, this world of our emotions, all right? It's an astral plane, but it's tied very closely to the world of Riya, all right? Now, I'll just do this quick. The world of Riya is a world of creation, is a world of origination, okay? Every thought has an origination, all right? There is actually no thought. It says there's nothing under the sun that hasn't already been thought. Like nothing I'm saying is new or novel, or I'm not making it up, all right? I'm just following a very well-established road, so to speak, you could say. All right, so the world of Riya is another level of reality, and that's more of the mind, the intelligences. All right, and the philosophers really do, and we need to understand, differentiate between reason and emotion. Now, there's a lot of other words, there's a lot, but it's really important to understand in our inner man, what goes on inside of us. We think thoughts of reason, and we think thoughts more emotionally charged. All right, and all of these actually, in a lot of ways, and this is where the keys are how the ancients understood how our body is made up chemically and electronically, stimuli going into our brain, and how the body is made, especially in the consciousness, or the inner parts that you can't see. Paul refers to it, our soul life, that you can't see it, but it actually, now science is getting to understand that there are really things going on. All right, that chemical reactions, electrical impulses, all these different things that are causing, and you can track these thoughts. So we're getting very close to the end, because science is getting very close to proving what the word has always said. So true science will prove the true word. And again, if you're one of these naturalists and secularists and wants to think that this was not all engineered by the Creator Father, whatever, take your chances. Okay, Absolute is the next one. Now, Absolute is the highest, is a level of intelligence that is otherworldly. All right, I can have intelligence, and I can grow in intelligence, by studying. This is, you can create more brain cells. I mean, heck, they know today that fasting, which is one of the most ancient spiritual practices, increases brain cells, increases the syntax, or whatever it is, to be able to be quicker in your memory, to retain. I mean, who knew? All right. So, but that's all still in the world of Riya, of creation. But there's a level above this. And this is where we need to get. This is my whole goal. I mean, is to get into this world of absolute, of absolutes. All right. Truth is an absolute. There are places where the original archetype, Elohim, who is love, there is a place that emanates from. All right. All the way down. This world of absolute, Chokmah and Bina. It's referred to in nice way of our Heavenly Father and our Heavenly Mother. Someplace outside of us. All right, we're told in the word, body, soul, and spirit, which are the first three levels that I just told you. All right, this level is coming from someplace else. All right, and this is the level of the true believer. All right, this is the level of the prophet. This is the level where wisdom and knowledge come that are unchangeable. All right, so it doesn't matter what. So, all right, then we have the last level, which is Yetzirah. I'm not sure how to say all these. I'll get better. You know that. Yetzirah, which is the world of Keter. This is the closest we have conceptually. There's a point where we can't know God. He said if we were ever really in his presence, body, soul, and spirit, all of us together, all of our different levels, we'd blow up. All right. This is a place, but there is a place where the Creator is. That is very, it's beyond. There are no words. We can. It's just so beyond us. I mean, if there wasn't a place where Yahweh was beyond me, then what's the point of being the God, the Creator? Because there has to be something at the very top of the pyramid that is not part of the pyramid, I guess, and that is where we get into this concept. In the ancients about an aura and well, I won't even get into that. I just, there's so much to get into, and we're going to do this step by step, but I want people to be aware. This is in our text. All right. When Isaiah writes, or Ezekiel says, he knows what he's doing. And this is in the verses, they flip. They say something in the natural, something, and then they flip around to saying something. They refer to Yetzirah. And this has to do with the names they use of Elohim. The Hebrew, there's so many different names in Hebrew. Elohim, Yahweh, Adonai, Eloha. There's so many. So, but they're all nuanced. It's not arbitrary. All right. So we're going to go, those are the five worlds. You always have to understand that. And we function. All right. Well, like I said, us, body, soul, and spirit, we're always when it says that in the beginning, Yahweh created the heavens and the earth. The heavens is this made up of these two worlds, basically, of Riya and Yetzirah, what goes on internally in us, and Asiyah, the body, the physical. So there is 5 levels of the soul that kind of correspond. See, I'm working off a graph I'm making, which I'm going to start as part of the study guide to explain this. We got to stop being scared of these symbols, this symbolic language that is been in the Remez level of the scriptures forever, and now it's time. All right. So what we're going to in the soul levels, people are made up of, well, actually all of creation, because in the world of creation, you know, we know this. There's like the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, and then you have on the top, you have the Adamic kingdom. You have Adam. You have, that's why we said we are top of the food chain, the Adamic man. All right. That will tell you something. And different levels of the soul also correspond to that. All right. But for all intents and purposes, we have a nephesh soul life. We have a ruach. And I won't even say that everybody has all these. This is the whole point of, of righteousness and holiness and becoming a Sadiq, a truly righteous person, elevating your soul. So that's why somebody like Yeshua HaMashiach, he's not, he doesn't have just a nephesh. He's got all 5 of these soul levels fully up and running. All right. We're lucky. Most people, if they, the nephesh and the ruach, if you can get to neshama, that's you're born again. There you are. But there's even 2 levels above that. So this is why, so you have our nephesh, the ruach, the neshama, the haya, okay, che, which is the word for life, cheya, and the word Yetzirah, which also relates to the highest level, Yetzirah. All right. So this is all totally in the bag. Nobody's got to make it up, but we do have to it helps to kind of like anything. If you're going to start out in a new science, you have to have the foundation. This is the foundation. Now, also the other thing we got to talk about is the 4 levels. My last 2 videos, I really recommend this, called Pardes. Our Torah sages can be trusted to have encrypted and encoded and kept all of the revelation for us actually very neat and tidy in these 4 levels. But unfortunately, the Christian church, for all intents and purposes, for over 1900 years, has sort of lost the Remez and the Sod level of understanding, except amongst the elites. And we've been they've been kind of feeding the sheep sort of this drosh and literal Peshat level, which is why it says there's a famine of the word, all right? I mean, you have to have it says the sum of his words is true. It doesn't say 2 parts of his word is truth or, 3/4 of it. He says the sum, and the sum refers to how all levels of understanding are in, you got to have all 4 levels up and running. This is why Paul is who understands this. Paul is a master Torah scholar. When he's telling the churches how to function, especially in congregation, when they're together, he says, everybody's got, contribute. We all, a psalm, a doctrine, a hymn. This is the way it should be. There should be great people pouring forth from their spirit, things that can bless and edify, tongues, all right, interpretation of tongues. But he says the last thing, he says, and let the prophets speak, 2 or 3. When is the last time you were in a church service and they actually let the prophets speak? See, we got to just, oh my gosh, grow up into understanding and get past all this silly childishness of, you're a prophet or a pastor or this or that. Like there's some hierarchy in the kingdom of Elohim. Listen, there's one king. That's it. We're all servants. All right. The prophets, and the prophet means someone who has this level, a remez and a sod level of understanding, should be speaking in every single church congregation. And I'm not talking about a word of knowledge or a word of wisdom. all right? I'm talking about the office of a prophet, all right? And that's a whole, that stuff, but that's coming. That's why the 2 witnesses are coming, because they are, again, the major prophetic voices for the last days, all right? If it's Elijah and Enoch, Elijah and Moshe, what other prophet? These are some of the mountains, the greatest prophets of Elohim that have ever, and even till Messiah ben David, Yeshua HaMashiach comes back as the king and the lion of the tribe of Judah. All right, so these are foundational. Now, the last thing I got to point out here is all of this has been transmitted. This is what we need to understand also in the scribal rules. If you were a scribe, I don't think we have just enough appreciation of Judah and of the oracles and how they have retained them. Basically a remnant of people. There's always been a remnant in the house of Judah who got this, understand the severity, understand the enormity of their birthright, all right, and have kept this in every generation. And a small group of Kabbalists, many people, small of Torah halakha scholars, all right. So I say the halakha is really in the drash level understanding. That's huge. We all have to know how to live Torah, how to please him. But there's a lot. We're in a war, and any good soldier gets his intel before he goes out to battle, and that's what we need. We need some intel to really win this thing. Okay, so now all those things being said, I'm going to start to unpack, to the best of my ability, these keys, all right? Now, what I found, I think I was going to say something about the scribal rules again. Let me just reiterate this one more time. They have all these rules. That's why they were so intent when they copied a Torah scroll, and if it was found out after proofreading it by many that there was even one little dot out of place, jot or tittle, anything that was the whole thing was trashed. Imagine, in these scrolls, I think I read somewhere it took up to 7 years. Oh, I wish I had that. I have some information on how, and it's one of my YouTubes, how these scribes did this. It was a huge, number one, process of learning how to do this, of transmission and accuracy. It parallels, there are no texts in the world, I don't care what they tell you, the fact that has been so accurately preserved through the ages. All right, and we know this, I've said before many times, like from the text of Isaiah that they found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, 2,300 years. All right, that's a long time of transmission, and it's basically accurate. Okay, so these rules, you can find out these rules. Philo has a whole, in one of his treatises, he talks about all these rules. So there, and the other thing you have to understand, these prophets did not put in, and this is, again, I've been through a lot of this, and these are things we just have to grow up into. The oral Torah, how that is also a huge part of this. The oral Torah was an extremely disciplined way of, they pass this information from pupil to student. And this is done in a way, because people don't understand, writing is actually, especially an inferior form of communication. It is oral, it is verbal, this is why discipleship in the New Testament is such a big thing, and why we've kind of misunderstood what's going on. Discipleship is one-on-one. It's like you say to your kids, look me in the eye, repeat after me. I want to know 100% you know what I'm saying. No confusion. This is the role of a disciple to a master, that everything is transmitted 100%. No, nobody's confused. You don't leave the room. You don't stop until that you know that your pupil got it, retained it, and completely understands what you're saying. All right, these are huge components that most Gentiles, we just don't even understand. So we're all getting up to speed. So understanding that there are rules of engagement here, you don't make anything up, and these scribes, in my opinion, can be trusted. That is why Paul says, hey, the Jews they've kept the oracles, and they have. They've kept the temple. Theirs was the temple worship. I've been through these. There needs to be a lot more. And I am totally not anti-rabbinic, because for all intents and purposes, I just want to say this last little disclaimer. I'm like so not into dishing the house of Judah anymore and the Jews and all they got to believe in Yeshua. People need to understand a couple things. They need to understand the division of the birthrights, the two houses, and they need to understand the role that Judah has always had to have to retain a physical and actual embodiment, the Jewish people, of who they are in the world to the end time. That is so crucial. And their rabbis have been used through the ages by Hashem to keep them kind of locked down, put a fence around them in the house so they could be a people that could move back to the land in this last days as a beginning of a witness to all the earth. I mean, okay, so I'm not into anti-Semitism, I'm not into anti-rabbinic ideas, understandings. Okay, so all these things being said, if you're going to go with me on this journey of unlocking the keys, these are my presuppositions. Okay, so whatever. I always tell people, so if you're with me, it's going to be exciting. I ask you to like the videos, comment on the videos, and subscribe, because I am going to be coming out maybe even 2 a week, doing the website, all these things, if you want to be along for the journey. Okay? Shalom, blessings, and may we all be sustained by the heart of the tree of life.